Most people spend years trying to master new skills, but what if I told you there's a way to cut that time in half? What if the difference between someone who learns in months versus years isn't talent, but simply knowing the right approach? Today we're diving into the science-backed methods that will transform how you acquire any skill, whether it's coding, cooking, or conquering a musical instrument. Here's the uncomfortable truth about why most people struggle to learn. They're stuck in what I call the consumption cycle. You buy the course, watch the videos, read the materials, and feel like you're making progress. But then reality hits when you try to actually do the thing you've been studying. Sound familiar? This happens because your brain treats passive consumption very differently than active engagement. When you're just absorbing information, your neural pathways remain largely unchanged. It's like trying to build muscle by watching workout videos instead of actually lifting weights. The breakthrough comes when you understand that your brain is designed to learn through struggle, not comfort. Scientists call this the generation effect, and it's why figuring something out yourself creates stronger memories than being told the answer. Every time you wrestle with a problem, make an error, and work through it, you're literally rewiring your brain. The frustration you feel isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. That mental strain is your neurons forming new connections, and those connections built through effort last far longer than information passively received.
So, how do you harness this? Start with what researchers call the testing effect. Instead of reviewing material over and over, immediately quiz yourself. If you're learning Spanish, don't just read vocabulary lists. Cover the English translation and see if you can recall the Spanish word. If you're studying programming, close the tutorial and try writing the code from memory. This forces your brain to actively reconstruct the information, which strengthens the neural pathways far more than passive review ever could. But here's where most people make their second mistake. They wait until they feel ready before they start practicing. This is backwards thinking. Real learning happens in the messy middle, not after perfect preparation. Take language learning as an example. You don't need to memorize grammar rules before having your first conversation. Jump into speaking practice immediately, even if you only know 20 words. Your brain will naturally identify gaps in your knowledge and prioritize filling them based on what you actually need in real situations. This principle applies to everything. Want to learn photography? Don't spend months studying camera settings. Grab your camera and start shooting. The difference between a theoretical understanding and practical skill is massive, and you can only bridge that gap through hands-on experience. Your early attempts will be rough, but that's exactly the point. Each mistake teaches you something that no textbook ever could. Now, let's talk about feedback, because this is where the magic really happens. Think of feedback as your learning GPS. Without it, you're driving blindfolded. The key is getting feedback that's both immediate and specific. When you practice piano, you instantly hear whether the notes sound right. When you cook, you immediately taste whether the seasoning is balanced. This instant loop of action and response accelerates learning exponentially.
But not all feedback is created equal. The most valuable feedback often comes from failure, not success. When something goes wrong, your brain pays attention in a way it never does when things go smoothly. This is why the best learners actively seek out situations where they might fail. They're not masochists. They understand that controlled failure is the fastest path to improvement. Here's a practical strategy. Deliberately practice at the edge of your ability. If you're learning to code, work on problems that are just slightly beyond your current skill level. If you're learning an instrument, play pieces that stretch your technique. This sweet spot between too easy and too hard is where rapid improvement happens. Too easy and you're not growing. Too hard and you get overwhelmed and quit. The environment you create for learning matters more than most people realize. Your brain is constantly adapting to its surroundings, and you can use this to your advantage. If possible, learn in the same type of environment where you'll eventually use the skill. Musicians practice in different acoustic spaces. Athletes train in conditions similar to competition. This contextual learning helps your brain build robust skills that transfer to real-world situations. There's also tremendous power in learning alongside others who are more advanced than you. This isn't about comparison or competition, it's about exposure to higher standards and different approaches. When you watch an expert work, your brain unconsciously picks up on subtle techniques and patterns that would take you years to discover independently. It's like having a shortcut to accumulated wisdom. But here's something most people miss: the power of teaching others. When you try to explain something you've recently learned, you quickly discover the gaps in your own understanding. Teaching forces you to organize information clearly, anticipate questions, and think about concepts from different angles. Find someone who's just starting their learning journey and offer to help them. You'll be amazed at how much your own understanding deepens in the process.
Let's also address the myth of perfect conditions. Too many people delay starting because they're waiting for the right time, the right resources, or the right mindset. But optimal learning doesn't happen in optimal conditions. It happens when you work with what you have and adapt as you go. Some of the most innovative solutions come from constraints, not abundance. Don't let the pursuit of perfect setup prevent you from taking imperfect action. One more crucial element: spacing your practice sessions. Your brain consolidates memories during rest periods, especially sleep. This means that practicing a little bit every day is far more effective than cramming everything into marathon sessions. The distributed practice effect has been proven across countless studies. 15 minutes daily beats 3 hours weekly every single time. Finally, understand that learning isn't linear. You'll have breakthrough moments, followed by plateaus. You'll feel like you're making great progress one day and struggling with the basics the next. This is completely normal and actually indicates healthy learning. Your brain is constantly reorganizing information, and sometimes this process causes temporary confusion before leading to deeper understanding. The path to rapid skill acquisition isn't about finding shortcuts or life hacks. It's about understanding how your brain actually learns and aligning your practice methods accordingly. Stop consuming and start creating. Embrace the struggle, because that's where growth happens. Seek immediate feedback and learn from every mistake. Practice at the edge of your ability in realistic conditions. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to improve. Most importantly, start today with whatever resources you have. The perfect learning plan executed poorly is worthless. The imperfect plan executed consistently is transformative. Your future self will thank you for taking that first uncomfortable step into active learning. The skills you want to develop are waiting for you on the other side of intentional practice.